think that it is right that he loses his job and possibly his career over that?
I think I'm going on strike in this debate, if I'm honest, because you know what it is? I'm the only black person in this space. I'm the only black woman in this space, and it's not the first time that I am being called upon to... I'm feeling supportive vibes from Nick.
Support you on this.
It is so exhausting to have to sit here and communicate our daily lived experience. These are the kind of things that happen every day in your life. As a black person in this country, yesterday I was talking to a mixed-race girl who tried to kill herself when she finished school because of daily things that made her feel dehumanised. It's regular and it's everywhere. And then what you see is that people like you, Greg, line up to defend your friends and say, I know him, he's a nice guy, it's fine, it's harmless, he didn't mean it. You have no idea how it feels to have someone make a monkey noise at you when you're doing your job. And, you know, he's a football supporter. He should know. This is something that the best football supporter, he should know. This is something that the best football players in the country say they can't wait to see the back of their game because of the emotional trauma of having fans. No, not one footballer, Greg. Dozens of footballers. And not just at the Premier League, regular local clubs. Kids playing teams on the weekend saying that having monkey noises is a regular part, having banana skin. Sorry, I'm just done. I'm not, and thank you for being supportive. I'm not going to communicate to you what is wrong with it. You should know. You should know better.
You and I have fought a lot over this, and I can see how upset you are, and I'm very sorry that you're upset about this. But do you think that if someone... Let me ask you a question. In this job, we all live, you know, on radio and on television. We're all capable, you know, we live in fear of cocking it up, of saying something that, well, I do. I live in fear of saying the wrong thing. And it offends somebody that I didn't mean to offend. I asked you before, do you think it's right that he loses his career over this? I
don't think he will lose his career, Carol. Let's...
My issue is that everybody makes the person who does the racist thing the victim. So you're asking, is it right that he was sacked? Greg saying he's a nice guy, he's going to lose his job. You know, how is he the victim in this scenario? This is a pregnant woman who had to arrange new levels of protection because of the amount of racist abuse she was receiving, which escalated when she announced she was pregnant. She's always had racist abuse, but when she announced her pregnancy, it multiplied because there is so much toxic racism in our society.
That's not Danny Baker's fault.
That's not Danny Baker's fault, but what is Danny Baker's fault is that he did something which was so offensive that when I first saw it, I actually thought it was a prank. I just thought nobody who the BBC gives a platform could be stupid enough to say this and not intend it to be racist, because it is one of, and we could talk about unintended racism or microaggressions, this is none of those. This is the most blatant, clear-cut example of racism. It's that generations of people have recognised this as an overtly racist trope. Within people's lifetimes, black...
Sacking is right,
So I'm not interested in him. I'm not interested in him or what happens to him. By the way, he's already done a show which was more successful than his previous shows since he's been sacked. So if you're worried about his career, then I suspect...
No one's worried about his career, per se.
I'm not interested in him. I'm worried about the millions of black people who regularly live with this kind of abuse and then have to be in spaces like this where everybody denies it's a problem. That is something that I could not feel more strongly about. And I'm living it right now in this conversation. It's not good enough.